If you're new here, let me catch you up and I'm gonna try to do it in less than 60 seconds. So back in 2019, we were traveling full-time in an RV. That's when we first started this lifestyle, fully funded by my online business, KaylinBrook.com, but then the pandemic happened and then the economy tanked and my income, our income, was cut in half.
To help make ends meet, we started work camping, first at a ranch in Florida while we mooch-docked at my brother's house, and then we spent the summer at a busy campground in northern Michigan. In the fall, we moved to North Dakota where I worked the beet harvest, and then we spent the winter in Texas doing 2 gate guarding gigs. And in the middle of all this, we announced to the world that,
well, we're broke. And we also set a lofty goal to save $15,000 to travel up to Alaska in summer of 2024. We pulled in $1,041 from that paycheck to make it an even $15,000. We were able to save that entire amount in just 4 months, with work camping making up 60% of that final total. In today's video, we're gonna share everything that we know about work camping, what it is, what it's not, where to find the work camping jobs, what you should be aware of before you accept a job. Work camping has really given us an opportunity to be able to travel across the country and make money along the way, and we would not be here financially where we are without it.
that is for sure. Did we make the 60 seconds?
I don't know.
60 seconds.
We can edit it out.
All right. So first, what is work camping? We want to be clear. This video is not about like all the ways you can make money on the road.
There's a lot.
There's a lot of side gigs. There's a lot of YouTube, all that stuff. This is specifically work camping. But in the last video, I promised you that we would be making this video a little more interesting.
I believe you said epic.
We're going to break it all down in one epic episode. So instead of sitting here on the couch telling you all about work camping, why don't we take them on a little bit of an adventure?
We're going on a hike. He is not excited about his living arrangement, but we have to leave the dog again because where we're going, Guadalupe Mountains National Park. Do you remember what happened last time we were there? It was not great.
No, it was not.
So this just happened.
This day just keeps getting better.
I think Trinity got car sick. So we're hoping to have a better experience, and that's going to include, unfortunately, not taking Trinity on this one.
And before you think we're just mean with not taking her along, dogs literally aren't allowed except on one 1 mile trail.
And we already did that one.
We already did that. So Trinity's just gonna get to relax here at home and we're gonna go on a hike. The most basic form of work camping out there is just working in exchange for a place to stay. Usually you're gonna get the spot for free, stay, but not always. Sometimes you have to pay when you're at the bigger resorts. On top of that, a lot of times you'll get an hourly wage, but the types of work camping vary so drastically. We're gonna dive deeper into that in a little bit.
We should actually take her out one last time.
Oh yeah.
Just to make sure she's good.
Come on, let's go do your business.
Do you think? I'm probably gonna need a coat, aren't I?
You probably will.
It is a little bit chilly.
I changed my mind. I'm getting a coat.
Oh, you're getting one too?
After waiting for Trinity for 20 minutes to do her business, I realized it's a little chilly out there.
Behave, Cody. Be a good girl.
Alrighty.
Oh, it's a baby and a really white, fluffy cow. He is right in the middle of the road. Will he move?
This is like peak boondocking right here. Having cattle in your way. I love it.
There are so many different types of work camping jobs out there, and we're gonna try to go through as many as we can. But the first one, probably the most popular one that you're thinking about when you think of work camping, are campground jobs. Now, there are so many different jobs you can have at a campground, whether it's being a host, working in the camp store, general maintenance, security, housekeeping, check-in, reservation. I'm sure I'm forgetting one. There's a lot that makes a campground work. And they need people for that on a seasonal basis or on a full year-round basis. Now, there are 2 ends of the campground spectrum. So on one end, you have volunteer work. This is generally with state parks, with the NPS, with the National Forest Service. Sometimes their commitments are a little bit shorter term, like a month at a time as opposed to a full season. And you are basically exchanging 20 to 25 hours a week of your time working at that campground in exchange for a free place to stay. These are really for people who have their basic income needs met and then just need a place to stay or want a place to stay that they don't have to pay for so that they can explore a specific area more in depth. And they have a lot more time to do so because it's generally a part-time job. On the other end of the spectrum are campgrounds that literally pay for everything and also give you a free site on top of that. So you get an hourly wage, generally between $13 to $16 an hour. This is what we did up at Mackinac Mill Creek Campground, where we had a free spot to stay. Joseph started out at the camp store for $13 an hour, worked his way up to middle management for $15 an hour. We got discounts on propane, discounts in the general store, discounts on travel activities in the area. So it was a really great season to be able to, again, explore more in depth in an area and have some weekends off. These jobs typically require a commitment for the full season, like a full summer season or a full winter season to finish out whenever that campground opens and ends. But these jobs are for travelers who need that little bit of extra income in addition to their housing. You're not gonna stash away a lot of savings from these jobs, but you are going to meet your basic monthly living expenses.
And of course, those are the two extremes. There is a lot of range in the middle. You'll have some campgrounds that'll say that your first 20 hours go to paying your site and then you get paid an hourly wage for everything on top of that. There are other campgrounds that might just make you pay for your site straight up for the whole month and you just get a higher hourly wage. And then there are others that might give you a discount on your site or you just have to pay for your utilities. You have to look at each individual job and never assume it's going to be one of the extremes. A lot of times, in fact, it is somewhere in the middle. Whew, it's chilly.
I am glad I brought my coat.
If we could get a map. I want to see you handle that map in the wind.
In the wind. Now, because of the rain we had, they said the trail we want to do, which is Devil's Hall, could be slick with some of the borders. I said boulders. Boulders. The Devil Halls Trail is 3.8 miles, 600 feet elevation gain, so not bad, not bad. We can do this in a couple of hours and make sure we're back in time to make sure the doggo doesn't get into anything. How badly do you want to go to Guadalupe Peak today?
I don't want to go badly at all because the view up there would be garbage because it's covered in clouds.
True.
Plus, to do Guadalupe Peak, you have to be in hiking shape, and my shape at the moment is more round than hiking.
He's gotten fat.
Look at how cool these steps are. If I just can't trip. All right, remember that hiking shape? It's all right, now we're going right. Oh, I didn't start my old trails. It doesn't count.
You're gonna go back down the steps, come back up?
No. All right, we are official now. Everything counts.
But back to work camping. We discussed all the campground jobs. Now let's talk about some seasonal jobs, and we're gonna kick this off with seasonal agricultural type jobs. These jobs are short-term opportunities that are based specifically around generally harvesting specific crops. One of the most popular ones is the sugar beet harvest. I've worked it 2 years in a row. We actually have an extensive video series outlining our experience with the beet harvest. Be sure to check it out. Links are in the description. Whew, catch your breath. But ultimately, this type of work, you are working 12-hour-ish days and you are set to the weather. So if it's a good day for harvesting, you're out harvesting. Generally, you're not gonna have a lot of time to explore. And of course, there are more agriculture jobs out there than just the beet harvest. That just happens to be the most popular. I think it's pretty hard to be RVing for more than a year without hearing about the unbeatable experience. I did not expect it to be this cold.
It is so much colder.
The truck said it was 50 when we got here. I'm not sure, I believe, oh, hey, you know what? I might have the anemometer with me, which would tell us what the temperature is.
Oh, your fancy
I'll
tool.
have to check.
What did we call this one?
Events.
Seasonal event slash event holiday work camping jobs. So these are like pumpkin patches, Christmas tree farms, county fairs, state fairs. A lot of times they need parking attendants. So activities and events like that are usually for a very short period of time. And you can sometimes make some pretty good money with them, like an hourly wage plus tips on top of that. So what is it?
This is saying 46 degrees.
Oh, that's chilly. That's why it's so cold.
With a wind chill of 43, and I'm not in the strongest wind at the moment. If we get some of those gusts, I'm sure that's going down. It's cold. He said these rocks are going to be slippery. I feel like the wind has dried them off.
Yeah, they are not
pretty
slippery
good
at all.
The third type of seasonal work that you can find out there is what you're probably thinking with seasonal work, and that is like ski resorts, kayaking trips. We call them adventure seasonal. I actually applied to be a zipline operator in either Arizona or Texas. Didn't get the gig, but we thought that that could be a really cool new experience. These jobs often come with like either dorms for like the ski resorts or an RV site, although not always, you'll have to check. But the income from these jobs is highly reliant on tips. So the more personable you are, generally the more income you're gonna make.
I cannot feel my hands anymore. It's that cold. Can you check the anemometer again?
Phenomena. So we're looking at 45 degrees, 44.9, wind chill bringing it down to 42. We're almost in the 30s.
Joseph originally got this anemometer for his birthday because he just wanted to know like wind speeds when we were at the RV, because it's just been really windy in Texas where we've been at. But I think it's actually great for drone footage, like to know whether you can take the drone out. It's great for hiking, so you know like how miserable you are. You can actually relate that to a temperature. We'll leave a link in the description below in case you want to get yourself one of the fancy gadget thingies.
It is snow.
That's snow?
Yeah, from the snow last night.
Oh, seriously? He will get it back when he least expects it.
So those first two types of seasonal work, the agriculture and the events related, are generally for people who are wanting to put in a lot of work to get a lot of cash in a short period of time.
But it doesn't really leave a lot of room for exploring because you are literally working non-stop, and they can be like short-term generally. Like,
yeah, like the bee harvest is 14 days.
If the weather's good. Work 14 straight
true.
days. For a Christmas tree farm, you're gonna be working the day after Thanksgiving right up until Christmas Eve. Whereas the tourism ones are for generally like a full tourist season.
And the tourism job will generally give you some time off, so you would have some time to explore. Plus, if you're giving people cool tours, you're getting adventure on the side as well.
True.
We definitely are getting more canyon-y though. Like the sides are getting higher. We lost the sun a while ago behind this side. Oh.
I told you.
Oh. I was like, what is going on? Oh, that's what's going on. Oh, that's cold. Oh, that's cold.
He deserved it. Oh, it's still down in there?
Yeah, it's dripping slowly down my spine. Oh. Whew. I think this is the beginning of it. I don't know if it's the whole thing or not.
Let's not fall. Oh, this is getting way cooler.
This is hard to translate on camera, but like this is all crooked. Like the camera is level. There we go. This is all very...
I do feel like I'm drifting.
Yes. I was a little nervous when we got back there because I was like, is this it? I don't want to be a bummer on camera and be like, this is a bit of a letdown, but some people were coming through at the same time and they told us the actual Devil's Hall is just a little bit further up. This is getting cool.
There's definitely some bouldering going on.
The majority of this hike does seem to be the definition of a scramble. Like, there's no defined trail, you're just walking up the wash.
Is this it? Oh, that's cool. This is really cool with the rocks.
Can you feel your hands?
No, I can't feel my nose either.
You are like ice cold.
I can't even talk anymore. Hands.
Your lips are turning blue.
I can't form coherent sentences.
When we left today, the temperature was supposed to be 60 degrees. I didn't see anything about wind chill. I should have guessed being in a valley where you're not getting the sunlight would make a difference, but man, we are for sure in the 30s for wind chill right now. And I don't think either of us are really dressed for that. But let me tell you all about the third? Yeah, I guess it's kind of third. The third way to do work camping, and if you followed our channel for any length of time, you know what's coming, and that is gate guarding.
It's its own category.
It is its own category for sure. So gate guarding, you're generally working for the energy industry, usually the oil and gas industry, and you're simply parking your RV at the entrance to a road or on an oil pad, and you are checking people in and out throughout the day. It's usually a 24-hour gig for couples, and so one of you has to do a 12-hour shift, and the other does the overnight 12-hour shift, and it pays anywhere from $175 to $275 a day. In the winter time, we've been told that you can often get more in the summer because, well, gate guarding's in Texas, and as much as Kaylin would like to be 90
I'm ready
degrees,
for it to be 90 right now.
Right now, most people do not like living in their RVs on an oil pad when it's 90, 100 degrees out, so they pay more in the summer. There are opportunities in gate guarding for singles as well, and generally those are 12-hour shifts. Obviously, you can't have a 24-hour gate when you're on your own, but a lot of times that will be a guard shack where they will provide a site somewhere, you know, up to an hour away, I've heard, and then you go to work and work in a guard shack for 12 hours and then go back to the RV park at night. We got lucky with our second gate guarding job in that it was a 12-hour shift where we actually got to park on site and we weren't checking people in and out all day. Instead, we were guarding equipment. And we had the night shift, so I watched from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. every day to make sure that nobody came onto the pad to steal the equipment that was there. Honestly, if you can get one of those jobs, take it. The best.
It was a dream job.
It was the best gate guarding job you could ask for. Since we are fresh off this job, we have a list of questions that are really good to ask if you're wanting to get into this line of work. But my hands are starting to get cold. Kaylin is an icicle back there, so we're gonna book it back to the truck and we will blast the heat and share those with you once we get there. Hey babe.
What?
You see that?
My sun. I need the sun. I'm a plant. I need sun.
End of the trail.
Get us home. There are a few questions that we wish we had known to ask when we started gate guarding, because we kind of got lucky with our first 24-hour 24/7 gig because it was a slow gate. We didn't really realize like how busy or how slow things would be. So that would be like the first question I would ask, is how much traffic is usually coming through the gate. Now, for reference, a slow gate for us was checking in and out 40 to 60 vehicles a day. Sometimes they were back to back. Sometimes we had over an hour or two in between vehicles. So that maybe gives you an idea of like how busy a gate would be.
Along those lines, a great question to ask is whether or not the job is a frac. If it is a frac, there is going to be significantly more traffic. Now, at some frac sites, you do not have to check in and out the sand trucks, which are the majority of the traffic. However, you're gonna have to be alert. So every vehicle passing, you're checking to, oh, is that a sand truck or is that somebody I have to check in? So those type of job sites are going to be much busier, much more taxing. And if it were me, I would make sure I'm getting paid more money for a job like that.
Joseph mentioned that some gate guarding gigs you could be commuting from an RV park to the gate. So just ask like whether you're on site or not and how far away you would be. If you're on site, Ask how close to the drilling operations you are. Are you like right on the pad? Are you a mile down the road? Because that's going to really depend on like how noisy it will be around your rig.
The last question to ask is one that you can almost take or leave, but it's good to ask anyway, but understand that the answer you get might not be what actually happens. They're not lying to you, they just don't know. And that is, how long is your commitment for? So our first gate was a 30-day commitment and it was over in 12 days. So we committed to work there for 30 days. After 12, we were done. The job was done and we moved on. And the next job we took was supposed to wrap up in late January, early February, and it actually ended up wrapping up in late February. Just know that these rules when it comes to the length of your commitment there are kind of like the Pirates Code.
We figured they were more actual guidelines.
Overall, our experience with gate guarding was positive, and I would say actually worked out better than we thought it was going to, but it does take a toll on you, especially if you're working a 24/7 gate. The fact that you do not have a day off, that you are working every day, it's just gonna wear down on you. It's worth the money, but it is not a job that I personally would do for more than a couple of months at a time before taking a break so you can rest and recoup and recover and kind of get your wits about you again.
It got to the point where Joseph and I were literally leaving Post-it notes for each other because the other person was usually sleeping when we needed to tell them something and we didn't want to forget. It was a whole thing, but we're really glad that we are on the same schedule now.
This, of course, is not an extensive list of work camping opportunities. I'm sure I missed some. If you have a favorite one, please drop it in the comments. I'm sure there are people here that would find that information helpful. There are a couple other things you can do that aren't technically work camping. So my job at FedEx, where I was a package handler for a winter, not technically work camping. We were boondocking outside of Phoenix and I was commuting into Phoenix. Then the next winter when I was working for a ranch in Florida, again, like we said in the intro, I was mooch docking at my brother's place at the time. So again, I wasn't getting a campsite out of the deal, but it's another thing you can do if you want to explore an area. You can either stay at a campground for a monthly rate or mooch dock with a family or friend and work and explore that area at that time.
We've got the essentials. Snacks, making myself hot cocoa because I'm still not warm from that hike. And I'm also going to tell you where you can find all of these work camping jobs, the different types, because that's kind of important. My all-time favorite website, and actually I don't even visit the website anymore because you can sign up for their newsletter. It's camperjobs.com with a K. Sign up for their email list because they were going to send you an email rundown of all the new jobs that have popped up in the past week, once a week. And I like in the newsletter that they show each of the work camping jobs like by the state. So it's easy to find if you're looking for a specific area. Oh, it tastes so good. My second favorite option are Facebook groups. There are two groups that I checked every single day when we were really trying to find our next gig. And basically you could go in and you can see posts from management of different campgrounds, campground owners. Even sometimes I've seen like people hiring for like ranch hands or to help out with the farm or to help with horses. So there are a lot of unique job opportunities in those Facebook groups. When it comes to gate guarding specifically, there are gate guarding Facebook groups that you may want to find. Those also have recruiters for each gate in there posting on the gate that they are hiring for and how much it pays and where it's located. You could also contact gate guard companies directly. If you just Google gate guarding in Texas, you're gonna find different companies, look for the email them, get on the list, because what they do is they keep a list and they go down the list every time they find a job. They call whoever is at the top of that list. If they say no, they'll go down to the next person and the next person. So we were on quite a few lists, and you can hold up to 4 companies on your security card. So that's good to know that you can like jump around if you want to, like we did. A couple other websites, coolworks.com. There's also happyvagabonds.com, Work workcamper.com. Workcampingjobs.com is another one. So, I mean, check all the sources to make sure you're finding out what's out there.
This is our last night here at this boondocking spot, but we have some internet friends that we've never met in real life that are actually coming over, and we're gonna have a campfire. However, that's currently what our fire pit looks like, so I need to address that situation.
This is looking nice.
Thank you, we're almost there.
I do hope that this was helpful for you guys, just to see like what kind of jobs are out there, our experience with them, where to find the jobs. And as for us, we are leaving this place tomorrow to go to Big Bend.
What national park number for us?
Number 43, so the first new one of this year. I know she's like,
I got her.
She's running away. It feels like we just got here, which we kind of did, and I don't know that we're ready to leave yet, but.
No. That's why our travel plans going forward and why we were glad to be done with gate guarding when we were, is we want to travel slower, like once every 2 weeks. This is a 1 week turnaround, which is a little ambitious for us. But as for y'all, we'll see you in Big Bend in the next video.
Bye.